Let's take a look at figuring out how to find an assignment, how to get into your book, etc. How to go through the resources that are available to you. Here I am in Accounting 101, and I'm in the Analyzing Transaction module. And this module has a lot of stuff. Now at the top, this is a similar video that what I'm going to do today. It's a little more detailed, a little longer. So if you need more help, you may want to look at that. It is done through the capture encoder and can only be viewed on D2L through this module. Some people sometimes have some internet issues being able to look at that video. So I am making this new video and will post it as an announcement, and you can click on the link and see this new video. Now, at the top of each module are any content. It always starts out with content. So here our content is Analyzing Transactions. If you click on that, you will see that there are some PowerPoint slideshows that will go through some basics of analyzing transactions. Here is a YouTube video, basics about the accounting equation and some initial analyzing transaction basics. And then we have 3 videos on that actually go through using the analyzing sheets and how to fill them out. Now, some of these are older, and so they're listed all on the screen like this. And sometimes you'll need to right-click and then say Open in a new window. And that should take you straight to the YouTube video. Okay, other times when you click, if it's a newer PowerPoint, you would click on this analyzing transaction and it'll take you straight to the PowerPoint and you can download it. Let's see. So here I'm in another thing and I click there and immediately it goes straight to the PowerPoint. And you can look at it within that screen, or you can hit the download button and download the PowerPoint into your own computer, and that way you can watch it, pause it, and everything else maybe a little bit easier. Okay, oftentimes below the content is a quiz. Now, in the beginning of the semester, the date that the quiz is due is a little bit later on. But later in the class, the quiz is one of the first things that's due. You're supposed to watch the content and then take the quiz. The quizzes don't have a lot of points to them because you have just watched the content, you haven't done any homework with it yet, and so oftentimes I give a low value to the quiz, but you're not going to do well at all on it if you don't watch the content and you just try to take the quiz and see if you can figure it out. You will not do well. Okay. Also notice that in the summer in particular, when I set the class up as a semi-self-paced class, this quiz, it says, is required before you can take exam 1. If you are watching this and you're in a fall or spring class, it may not be set up as a self-paced class, and so just whatever date is due is the date that it's due. If you're in the summer self-paced, then until you have done all the things required before you take exam one is not going to show up on your screen. It will not let you take exam one until you've done everything that's required first. Doesn't mean you've done it well. You can get on this quiz and get a 0 on it. It'll still open up exam one. All right. Now I have a variety of other resources. So here is an Analyzing Transaction Sheet Part 1. This is a Word document. And here we have Analyzing Transaction Sheet Part 1. This is an Excel template. And so it's with whichever you choose. The Excel template can be easier, particularly if you're going to just upload that Excel template as an answer to your homework or an answer to a test question. The Excel is a little easier to use for that. The Word document is easier if you're coming physically to a class or you want to hand write on the document. You can download that, hand write on the document, and then you can take a picture of it and upload it if you want to do it that way. So those are both there, and there are demonstrations to show you how to use them. Back up here in this content, some of the YouTube videos showed you how to use the Word document, okay, step by step. It had a few transactions, so you would want to be sure to take a look at that. Then there's a big, huge problem with transactions. It's broken down into a couple of pieces. This is called Amanda's Campus Delivery. Here are the transactions. So if you click on here, okay, it shows you the chart of accounts for Amanda's, and then it also shows you, if you would download this into your thing, it'd come out where you could see it all. Here's your the transactions themselves, okay, and it had dates next to it. Okay, so if you downloaded this, it's an Excel document, and then you could print it out if you want, or keep it on a different tab on your screen so that you can refer back to it as you're going through the videos. Okay, so there were the transactions in the chart of account. Then here is a video, and you can see it gives you a link. So when you click on this, it should go to the YouTube video, and it'll go through some of those transactions and how to fill them out on the Word document. Notice it says Part 1 and Part 2. So some of the transactions are here on this YouTube video, and then the rest of the transactions showing how to put it on the Analyzing Word document sheet is on Part 2. Then there's Amanda's Campus Delivery with Excel demo. So this is a video that shows you how to use the Excel demo with the same transactions. So that Part 1 and Part 2 was how to put it on the Word document, and this video shows you how to put the same transactions on Excel. If you know right away that, oh yeah, I'm going to use the Excel one, then this would be the only demo you would need to see. If you know right away you're going to just use the Word one, then look at the part 1 and part 2 with the Word documents. If you're not sure, you can look at all 3 videos. They each go through transactions step by step, how to analyze them, and how to use the analyzing sheets. The next resource is an equity chart, and this shows you the 4 different accounts that affect equity. It's helpful to have this, maybe printed out when you are actually doing analyzing of transactions. It's helpful to have that chart out in front of you. Now, once we get done with the content at the top, and then the quiz, and then any resources, then we finally get down to homework. Okay, usually homework starts with an HW for homework, and here is homework chapter 2 part 1, homework chapter 2 part 2, and homework chapter 2 part 3. Okay, now homework chapter 2 part 1 says Cengage. This is in Cengage. You don't need to upload anything. You're just going to go straight to Cengage. So if I click on this, it should take you, now this is my faculty thing, but it would normally for you, it would take you straight to chapter 2 part 1, and you would actually go ahead and do that assignment. And Cengage will grade that assignment and tell you how much your grade is for that assignment. I generally have vocabulary things. There's true, false, multiple choice stuff in there, and they tend to have more vocabulary things, some concept things, and maybe some real simple calculation things on there, and you can do those, and generally the date that is due is going to be a little bit sooner. Okay, then we've got homework chapter 2 part 2. Okay, tells you when it's due. This tells you what to do, these instructions, and down at the bottom it tells you upload here on D2L. So once you finish this assignment, which is not in Cengage, this assignment you have to do on your own, and then you're going to upload your answer. Okay, so when you click on here, you'll go to a page where it'll allow you to upload your answer. Here's chapter 2 part 3. Again, upload here on D2L. So these 2 things are called D2L assignments as opposed to a Cengage assignment. Okay, now it tells you here, see the video at the top of the page about navigating through this module. Okay, that was this video here. However, if you are watching the current video, that would take the place of the one at the top of the page. And it discusses how to locate the assignments in your ebook, and we'll look at that shortly. Then it says, see the video analyzing transactions for Amanda's campus delivery. Finally, complete exercise 2-3A. We're going to find Series A exercises in the back of Chapter 2 of your ebook under Applying Your Knowledge. Ignore the instructions in the book. Put the transactions on Analyzing Transactions sheet templates. Okay, here is the Word analyzing, here's the Word analyzing sheet template. Here's the Excel one. Choose one of those, and you're going to put your answer on that instead of following the instructions in the book. Okay? Then once you're done with that Word or Excel document, you're going to upload it here onto D2L. Here it says, see the video Analyzing Transactions for Amanda's Part 2. Now, this assumed that you were going to use the Word document. If you had looked at the Excel demo video instead, then that would take the place of this, okay? Find problem 4-9A. In problems, that's problem 49A. Notice this one up here says exercise 2-3A. This is problem 4-9A. Okay, so we would be looking in the Series A problems, back of chapter 4. Okay, ignore the instructions, put the transactions onto Analyzing Transaction sheets. Okay, so once again, you would choose whether you want to use these Word sheets or the Excel sheets. You would put the transactions on there and then upload them onto D2L. So let's take a look at where we find exercise 2-3A and problem 4-9A. You need to get into the ebook, okay? Now, the best way to get into the fastest way is probably just to click on one of these Cengage homeworks, and that will take you straight into Cengage. Now, you also have a separate thing in Cengage. If you go to your Cengage dashboard that says Mind Tap, and the book is there, and you can look there. If you get into the Cengage Now homework, like this section is, you can go into Study Tools, and there is the book there, okay? And you can click on ebook. Okay, now over here where the book is, you can click on that and it'll bring up this book. Now, just a reminder, over here to the left it says print options, and if you go into that, it gives you the option, if you are a person that doesn't want to deal with an ebook and you want it in a printed format, then they have options there. You can rent the book, they'll send it to you, but you got to send it back at the end of the semester. Or you can buy the book, and usually it won't be as much as like in the old days where you had to buy it at the bookstore. Okay, so there's your print options. They'll send it to you. It'll be a loose leaf format with hole punched, and you would stick it into a binder. All right, so we had clicked on this blue book. We got the book here. You can maximize this on out. Up at the top left, there's a TOC, which is Table of Contents. Now, the first homework that we wanted to look at was exercise 2-3A. So that first number, the 2, means chapter 2. So we're going to go down here in the table of contents to chapter 2. Then you have to scroll down all the way to where it says applying your knowledge. Okay, that's your homework. Okay. And it starts out with chapter review questions. Now, I don't tend to ask those questions as homework. They're wonderful. If you would like to look over those and you don't know the answer to those, then you're free to ask me or the tutor, and we will be very happy to go over what they mean. But typically for homework, I'm going to assign either exercises or problems. So here you can see Series A exercises. Now, if I assigned a Series B exercise, that would be exercise 2-3B, then you would have to keep scrolling on down. There we go, we just passed it. Here's Series B exercises, okay? So you have to know whether it's an exercise or a problem, and you have to know whether it's Series A or Series B. Now, for the most part, I use the Series A. Okay, so we're in Series A exercises. Now, it said exercise 2-3A. So here, this first one is E for exercise, 2 for chapter 2-1A. Okay, we want 2-3A. So here it is, E 2-3A. And there are 4 transactions in here. And it tells you to put it in their little sheet. And again, you're ignoring those instructions. All we're using this for is these 4 transactions. You're going to take those 4 transactions and put them either on the Word analyzing sheet or the Excel analyzing sheet. And then you'll upload that, and that will be the end of that homework. All right, let's go back. And the other one was problem 4-9A. So the 4 stands for chapter 4. So we're going to go down here to chapter 4. There we have chapter 4. We're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to applying your knowledge. And there's review questions, which we don't need. There's the Series A exercises. We don't need that either. We need problems, Series A problems. So we keep going through here. And here we are, Series A problems. And the very first one is P for problem, 4 for chapter 4, 9A. So that's what we need, problem 4-9A. Now this problem in chapter 4 is all about journalizing and posting, which we've not even gotten to yet. So you don't need to worry about following their instructions. Here is the chart of accounts they give us for Annette Creighton. There's all her accounts. And then here's her transactions. I zipped on by. Okay, so there's the end of her transactions. Now, then, here are the instructions about setting up general ledger accounts and journalizing stuff. You just ignore that. Just ignore that. All you're doing is you're going to take these transactions, you're going to use her chart of account and do these transactions either onto the Word document or the Excel document, and then you'll upload it. And obviously you'll see there's a lot more transactions in this problem than there was in exercise 2-3A. It so happens that we will be using this again. So in other words, once you've analyzed this 4-9A for this problem, which is homework chapter 2, part 3. Okay, once you've submitted this, then in our next module, we're going to be talking about debits and credits. You're going to pull out that same homework and put debits and credits. Then when we get to chapter 4, you're going to have to use those same transaction analysis sheets that you did for this and use them to journalize and post. So this homework, if you don't do it now and get credit for it, you will have to do it to be able to complete other homeworks, and you won't end up getting any credit for it. So this is one of the most important homeworks to make sure that you get done. Okay, any other problems or exercises that I tell you to do? Again, you will pull up the book either through MindTap or through the study tools on Cengage Now. You will go into the table of contents. You will find the correct chapter. You'll go down to applying your knowledge, and then you'll find either exercises or problems and find the correct one. Okay. You will see here on my screen that I have underneath Analyzing Transactions, I have a D2L Homework Answers Chapter 2. Okay, you will not see that right away. Okay, these last two that are D2L assignments, Chapter 2 Part 2 and Chapter 2 Part 3, where you had to put them on analyzing sheets and upload them. Once you have done that, once you have uploaded both of those, then you too will see this D2L Homework Answers Chapter 2 module will pop up where you can see it. And here are the answers, okay, to those homework assignments. Okay, and it is up to you to compare these and to yours, and then add, if you don't understand how mine says you should that you should increase this account and decrease that account or whatever mine says, and yours doesn't match that and you don't understand why, make sure you ask the tutor or ask myself, and we'll be glad to explain it to you. Okay, now these particular answers are in LiveScribe pencasts. Okay, all three of these. Sometimes it's just a Word or Excel document with the answers in it, and sometimes it's in a pencast. Okay, now if you were to just click on where it says Homework Answers Chapter 2 Part 2, if you clicked on that, it will show you the pencast answer, and you can see, you know, it's a little hard to see, but you can see exactly there are the 4 transactions. That was Chapter 2 Part 2 was 4 transactions, and here's the 4 transactions, what I'm giving up, what I'm receiving, the pluses and minuses, everything is there. Okay, it shows it to you twice. Now let's say you want to see it as it happens, and you want to hear my voice explaining it step by step. Then you're going to download this. Okay, and I'm now bringing it up, and I'm going to go into File and Save As. I'm going to put this in Documents, okay, and save it. Okay, so you had to download and save that. Now you're going to go to livescribe.com/player. Here is a link right there. And that takes you to this site right here. And you could have dropped that LiveScribe pencast right there. But I like to save mine. That way you can look at it again easier. Okay, so you would choose this button, choose your LiveScribe PDF, and I go into my documents, and that was, let's see, Homework Answers, Chapter 2, Part 2. That was it right there. Okay, so I find it, I open it up. Maximum call stack size exceeded. I don't know what that means. Okay, so it's not letting me open it for some reason. I will have to figure that out later. But normally, once you do that, it'll open right up. There's a white screen, and then there's a little orange arrow, and you click on that arrow, and it will play step by step, show you how to do the answer. And you'll hear my voice explaining it. You can pause it, replay it, whatever you like to do. Let me see. I wonder if this is because I'll try a different one. Let's try that. Okay, so here I pulled one up and it had no problem with this one. This could be my laptop maybe. And here is the orange arrow, and I can do a bank reconciliation. Okay, and so you could hear my voice starting on that. You can see that the screen went all blank, but as I talk and explain stuff, you'll start to see the green writing show up on there, just like as if I were at the board in front of the classroom going through the problem step by step. I will have to check and see on this other one if I need to remake a new one. Okay, so that was chapter 2, part 2. Same thing here. Chapter 2, part 3, that's the one with bunches of transactions. So that's broken down into 2 separate pencasts. Okay, and so you would have to first see the first part and then the second part. We go into the next module, debits and credits. Okay, again, it tells you up here the exam's not going to show up until you've met whatever release conditions there are. So here's any PowerPoints and things. Here's more content. This is about T accounts. Here's a video about debits and credits, so you have a variety of content. Here's a video about trial balance. Once all the content is done, there's the quiz. Okay, you just click on that. It'll take you straight to the quiz. Okay, this quiz is required before you take exam 1. Okay, now, there's Analyzing Transaction Sheets Part 2. They're slightly different from Analyzing Transaction Sheets Part 1 because these include where you put debits and credits. Okay, here's the Word document one, here's the Excel document one. Okay, here is a sheet of blank T accounts, or you can make your own T accounts on Excel or by hand or whatever you want. Okay, here is a YouTube video on how to use the Analyzing Sheets Part 2. Here is Analyzing Transactions for Amanda's Campus Delivery, and this is the third part, which actually includes the debit and credit. How to take the analyzing sheets that you already did in the previous module, and now all you're doing is adding the debits and credits to it. So this is a PowerPoint, it's a large file, it'll take some time to download. I will probably, before you get to this, I'll probably have made a separate video where there's just a link, so you won't have to have such a big effort to download it. Okay, once we're done with all the resources, then you have homework. Here's chapter 3, part 1. It says Cengage, so you just click on it. It takes you straight to the Cengage, okay, to do your homework. Then we have chapter 3, part 2. This one, upload to D2L. It says see exercises for chapter 3. Do 3-5A, exercises. Okay, so you're going to go to your ebook. You're going to find chapter 3. You're going to go down to applying your knowledge, and you're going to find Series A exercises. And you're going to find 3-5A. Then you're going to put those transactions. You're going to ignore whatever instructions. You're going to put those transactions on Analyzing Transaction Sheets Part 2. You're going to put a DR or a CR next to each account, and then you're going to make sure that the DR equals the CR, that your debits equal your credits. Now here, homework chapter 3, part 3, that says use Creighton's consulting transactions. Problem 4-9 that we already did in the previous module. Okay, so you're going to take those transaction sheets that you already did, and you're not going to worry about redoing them onto transaction sheets part 2. You're just going to add the DR and CR next to each account. Okay, once you have your DRs and CRs written down on those sheets, you'll have to make T accounts, okay, and put your debit and credit amounts into your T accounts. Okay, then you got to foot and balance your T accounts, upload to D2L. This assignment is required before you can do exam 1 problem. Okay, so you'll have to upload your answer to that before the exam 1 problem is going to show up. So if you did not submit exam 1 problem and you get a 0 on it because you didn't do this homework assignment, and therefore the problem didn't even open up for you to see it. Okay, here's homework chapter 3, part 4. And this tells you to make a trial balance from this previous homework up here, okay, and upload it on D2L. Here's another Cengage problem. Click it and go straight there. Now, that's the end of your homeworks for that whole section. And here we have a study guide, okay? It says you must review this study guide before you can take exam 1, okay? So exam 1 includes the study guide, and you had to do the quizzes, okay, before you could see exam 1. Now exam 1 is true, false, and multiple choice questions covering chapters 1 through 3. And it will not show up if you haven't done the quizzes and if you haven't at least gotten into the study guide and looked at the study guide. Now, the study guide has a bunch of true, false, multiple choice questions on it. I draw from that study guide. Those are the questions that are going to be on exam 1. I'm going to choose from that study guide. So this first exam forces you to look at the study guide, okay? You can look at it, you can try to figure out your answers. Once you have tried yourself to figure out the answers, you circled anything that you're pretty sure you're not so sure of, and you ask the tutor or you ask myself, and we'll go through all the ones that you want to go through that you've circled. Are we going to tell you the answers right off the bat? No, you have to go through the study guide. You have to try to figure it out yourself, circle the ones you're not sure of, and we will be glad to help you and explain those. Now, in the future, starting in exam 2, this requirement is not there. And so you can just, once you have taken the quizzes, exam 2 will just pop up. And if you don't want to look at the exam 2 study guide, you don't have to. But for this first one, I do require you to at least look at it. And most people who, work on the study guide do much better on the exam. Now, most of the exams are divided into two parts, and this one is also. So there was exam 1, which is the true false multiple choice, and exam 1 problem, which again, you're not going to see these on yours until you actually upload stuff that you need to upload. Okay, so exam 1 problem is where you're going to have to use the analyzing transaction sheets. You're going to have to make T accounts. You're going to have to make a trial balance. So it's going to be like the Annette Creighton thing, only just not as many transactions. And so you have to do that chapter 3, part 3 homework of Annette Creighton stuff and upload that before this exam 1 problem is even going to show up for you to do. Okay, and you'll go to it. It'll tell you the transactions. You will go and bring up either your Excel or your Word document, transaction sheets, fill them out, and then you need to upload them. Now, inside of the exams, there is an upload button. Unfortunately, it does not work, at least at OC Tech. It's set to not, it'll look like it's working, but it will not be working. I will not be able to see anything you upload inside of the exam. So once you're done, you've got all your stuff onto your Excel or your Word document, then you have to hit Submit Quiz to get out of the exam 1 problem, and then you're going to go to this exam 1 problem upload, and this is an assignment Dropbox, okay, just like your other D2L homework. And you'll upload all your documents here under exam 1 problem upload. Okay, so that should give you a pretty good idea about how to navigate through all of this. If you have any questions, and of course, the Welcome to Accounting 101 has your syllabus in there, and you should have already taken the syllabus quiz. You should have already introduced yourself on the discussion board. Okay.